Conservative new media viewers, JLin fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFE, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to discuss Brooklyn's 141-118 victory tonight over the Philadelphia 76ers in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Brooklyn improves to 19-59 on the season. Philly falls to 28-50 on the year. So the Nets are now just one win away from the 20 mark, which seemed impossible to achieve at the beginning of March. We've come so far and just have to be so impressed with how the Nets are doing. The Nets have also won 3 consecutive games now. They are 3-0 in the month of April. They are 6-3 in their last 9 games, and they are 10-12 since the All-Star game, which is when everything turned around for this team. Obviously, that coincided with the return of JLin. There were a couple of different marks in this game that I should mention. Number one, Brooklyn scored 81 points in the first half. That tied a franchise record for most points ever scored in the first half by the Nets franchise. The other one was, the Nets finished with 36 assists. That is the most assists that the Nets have had in a game since 2014, when I believe in one of the games played in that season, they had, 38 assists. I wrote it down, but I have to look it back up again. The most ever for the Nets in any game in their franchise history was 44. So they weren't far off that tonight, and they might have been able to hit it had this game been more competitive and they needed to get more points. Also, the 141 points tonight was the second best mark for the Nets this season, behind the 143 that they scored in New Orleans against the Pelicans on Friday, January 20th, 2017. What happened in this game is that essentially this game was over after the first quarter. The Nets scored 40 points in the first quarter to Philadelphia's 27, and Brooklyn's pace was too much for the Sixers. Brooklyn leads the league in pace per game. I want to say it's like 101.5 or something. In the first half of this game, the pace was about 105. So it was even higher than what Brooklyn is used to playing. Now, the Sixers actually do like to play at a pretty fast pace themselves. They were 5th in the league coming into this game in terms of pace per game. However, the Sixers have a bunch of injuries right now, which means that their depth is reduced. So Brooklyn has more guys to throw out on the court than Philly does, and Brooklyn likes to play at a faster pace anyway. So basically, Philadelphia couldn't keep up in this game. And once the Nets got the Sixers to play fast, that was it. That meant that it was all going to go downhill for Philadelphia from there, and that's exactly what happened. And as I said on Twitter, you can thank JLin for this. Tonight was a JLin game in terms of he imposed his pace and his energy into this game. And it's not always perfect. Sometimes Jeremy will get a little too loosey-goosey with his passes, make a mistake here or there, but if you get into a fast tempo game, you're playing right into Jeremy's hands. And that's what he was able to do tonight to the Sixers. And I mentioned this in the last game, that in the third quarter of the last game, Jeremy turned up the energy, and the whole game got quicker, and Brooklyn started whipping around passes, and it just, again, it becomes contagious. That's how this game was almost the entire game, and it started right out in the first quarter. And it goes beyond the statistics. It's what a particular player can do to an entire team in a game. And that's why Jeremy was the most important player in this game. And he was actually named the Yes Network Player of the Game following the contest, which was well deserved. You can't always see that in stats. You often can't see it in stats. But what he does is so important for a team. And this is why a point guard matters so much, for any team or any franchise. He's the guy that makes it all happen. He's the guy that sets the tone and has the ball in his hand. So if he's running, you're running. If he's passing, you're passing. If he's playing fast, you're playing fast. That's what happened in this game, and that's the effect that Jeremy has. Probably more so than any individual statistic that stands out with him. It's this pace and this imprint on the game, making it go quick. That's what he brings, because he can play fast and play under control. And most people, when they play fast, they play out of control. And so if you get into a running game with Jeremy, you're going to get beat most times. And that's what happened tonight. So this was perfect. We can definitely say the shooting slump and all the little struggles, that's gone. He shot the ball great tonight. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But this was the prototype, the perfect example of a Jeremy Lin game. What he does, how he does it, and how it affects the outcome of the game. This should be right there in the library of what a Jeremy Lin game looks like. Okay, the bench was fantastic tonight. Can't calculate all the points right now, but KJ McDaniels 14 points, John Kilpatrick 13 points, Archie Goodwin 14 points. Archie Goodwin is looking really, really good. He's just so athletic. He had another huge dunk in this game. Remember, this is not a very tall guy. He looks great. Spencer Dinwiddie, 13 points, 7 assists. Justin Hamilton, 9 points. Quincy Acee, 5 points. Andrew Nicholson got some play in this game, 2 points for him. Trevor Booker, 8 points. So, like I said, they played 13 men tonight. Now, of course, they played them because it was a rout. But everybody can play. Everybody can play on the team. I mean, again, the only guy I'm really not sure about is Andrew Nicholson, just because he hasn't played that much. But this team it's just so deep, and it's just getting better and better, and it's great heading into next season. Turning to the starters, Karis LeVert, 7 points, 7 assists. That is a career high in assists for the rookie. He and Brooke were interviewed after the game, which was fun on Yes Network. Randy Foyd, 12 points. Brooke Lopez, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Rondae Hollis Jefferson, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Jeremy Lin, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Jeremy played 23 minutes. He would have played more, but it was a rout. Shot 6 of 10 from the field, including 2 of 2 from three-point range. He also had another shot where his foot was on the line. So it was almost a 3 for 3 from three-point range. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. 2 steals, no block shots, 5 turnovers, 3 personal fouls. I cannot see Jeremy's plus minus here, but I know it was like plus 15 or something like that. They just took it off for a second here. So the only nitpick you can say about Jeremy at all is the turnovers. Look, he does have a tendency, particularly when he's playing quick, to make a couple sloppy turnovers here or there. That would be nice if he'd get that a little bit more under control. However, you don't want to fixate on that, because then it takes away from the speed game. Now, like I was saying, Jeremy does make some passes every now and then. You're like, oh, you didn't have to do that. Like a full court pass, and he's trying to make something happen where he doesn't have to force it. But I'm not going to focus on that tonight, because he played so well. And the truth is, he had maybe, 6 or 7 would-be assists. So he could have easily had 10 assists in this game. I mean, he played great. He controlled things extremely well. And it's like I said, this is how he wants to play. Jeremy is a perfect fit for a system that's like wants to outscore you. It's not all about super defense. Of course, Jeremy can play excellent defense, but he likes the shootouts. He likes the transition game. That's where he's at his best, and that's basically what tonight was. So I thought he played fantastic in this game, and like I said, this is the prototype Jeremy Lin game, and it was just really, really fun to watch. And everybody feeds off of it. It is contagious. And he's the ringleader. He's the man making it happen. If you do not have Jeremy Lin, this game doesn't happen in this manner. You do not have the team playing this fast, and you do not have them passing the ball this well. And this is what he brings. And credit to Spencer Dinwiddie, because he kept it going once Jeremy came off the floor. And I said, I mean, this is just a really fun, really exciting game, and this just it just gives hope to what this team is becoming. They are believing more and more. I mean, this team is almost a 500, win one, lose one team since the All-Star break. If you translate that over a season, that's 41 wins or around there. So this team is just. It's amazing that they have done this so quickly. Remember, we were all so upset. We're so beaten down. And people were questioning Coach Atkinson. And now Coach Atkinson and General Manager Sean Marks look awesome. And I'm happy for them because they deserve it. And they talked about it on the broadcast tonight, that the Nets culture has changed so much. And you're happy for these guys because they're good guys on the team. The front office, the coach, these are good people. And you want to root for people that do things the right way and who are good people. These are good people. And that's one of the reasons why I'm leaning more towards keeping Brook now. Brook is a good dude, and his personality fits well with Jeremy. And that really matters, particularly for Jeremy, since, again, he's had so many instances where maybe teammates were jealous or whatever it was. Brook isn't like that. Brook's a good guy, and he's like a really nice, giving person. And that's a relief for Jeremy to have one of his main co-stars or whatever like him, in the same way that Kemba did. Kemba Walker really liked Jeremy a lot, and that made things easier for Jeremy. He didn't have to worry if anybody was upset because of Jeremy's stardom or whatever. Brook's the same way. He's just a good guy, and he's happy for Jeremy. And so that's really, really important. And look, man, everything's just going great right now. That's pretty much the overview of the game. I'm going to go through my notes here, but this was a wire-to-wire win. Brooklyn came out. They imposed their will on the pace of the game, and Philadelphia couldn't deal with it. And that's essentially what happened. And the Nets kept it up for the entire game until they could kind of lay off the gas in the fourth quarter. But, even then they were still scoring well. So, fantastic. This is as good as it gets. Okay, first quarter. Just made the note that Philadelphia is too small to guard Brook Lopez. So as we stated in the video when these two teams played before, a week ago or so, because Philadelphia has several guys that are front court players hurt, like Okafor, like Embiid, they simply don't have a guy big enough to guard Brook. And so anytime that the Nets wanted to go inside, they pretty much could, and there wasn't a lot Philly could do about it. Note number 2, Lin pace early for Brooklyn, and they are killing Philadelphia in transition. So as I mentioned before, Jeremy pushed the ball extremely hard at high pace, and that worked great for Brooklyn, and it didn't work out really well for Philadelphia. Like as I said earlier, Philadelphia fell into the trap of trying to run and gun with Brooklyn, and they couldn't. And that was actually my third note of the game, which was Philly fell into the trap. And moving on into the second quarter, 7 Nets have made a 3 so far. The ball is popping, meaning the ball is moving really well. And then I said Lin effect. This is Jeremy Lin's stamp on the team. I'm not saying, I don't want just people that are casual Nets fans or they don't follow these videos. I'm not saying that the team it's incapable of playing this way without Jeremy. What I'm saying is Jeremy enhances the effect, and he makes it much easier and much more likely that the team's going to play that way. That's how he plays, and that carries over to the rest of the team. Okay, moving on to number 6 point here. Nets' 22-point lead is the largest in the first half all season, and I think that lead would get bigger in the first half. So, again, this was a hallmark game for the Nets in terms of various records and things that were set in here. Then the 81 points, again, the best it ties the best for a Nets first half in their franchise history. Moving on to the third quarter, I've said Lin, slower pace to start the third quarter. So the Nets were up 29 points at the half, and they came out in the third quarter and they were flat. And I could see it in Jeremy right away. He was playing much slower. And pretty soon Philadelphia was on like a 10-2 run, and with about 2.5 minutes into the third quarter, Coach Atkinson had to take a timeout and kind of, get the team back into focus and into gear. And after that, or actually beginning the start of the second half, Philadelphia went to a full court press, which is where you play defense basically for the entire court rather than just in the half court. So they were doing a press and they were trapping guys for the Nets when the Nets would come over half court. Just, okay, we're going to slow down your offense and change it up and see how you deal with it. For a few minutes, the Nets didn't deal with it well. Then they calmed down a little bit, relaxed, and then they started doing really well against it. And that was basically, if the game wasn't over before, it was over then, because they didn't have anything else to try, and the Nets were succeeding with everything that was happening. But it was a good strategy. Basically, the strategy was slow you down and slow Jeremy down. And it did make the Nets work for a few minutes to kind of figure it out, but then they did figure it out. So that was good. Okay, moving on here. Let's see. Then the Yes Network showed a clip of Coach Atkinson talking about pace. So maybe this was an interview like before the game. And he was talking about, well, yes, pace is good, but you also must play smart with pace. It's basically, what do you do with it? Are you using fast tempo in a good way, or are you using it in a poor way? So the Nets have had the fastest pace in the league all season, but that doesn't mean they were good all season. That doesn't mean they were successful all season. Now I think they're starting to be smarter about it. And not coincidentally, that kind of has coincided with Jeremy coming back, because again, Jeremy likes to play at pace. So just playing fast doesn't mean you will succeed. You must be able to play well when you play fast. And that's, I think the Nets are getting better and better at that now. Okay. Brooklyn then got up to a 35-point lead, and Yes Network said that was the biggest lead that the Nets have had in any game this entire season. And then my final note was, this is like the New Orleans Pelicans game, in which Brooklyn destroyed New Orleans in New Orleans, 143-14. That was probably their best game of the season, and this is right up there with that outing. As I mentioned, Jeremy was named the player of the game following the contest. And look, there's no negatives here. As I said, sure, Jeremy could have a couple fewer turnovers, but yeah, this was a masterpiece. This is exactly how the team wants to play. Everybody's involved. Everybody's scoring. Everybody's shooting the three-pointer well. Everybody's moving the ball well. This is it. This is the blueprint, and it was just fantastic to watch. So let's talk about the next game coming up after we got this successful game under our belt. And that will take place 2 days from now, Thursday, April 6th, in Orlando, Florida, against the Orlando Magic. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch the game either on Yes Network if you're in and around the city of New York, or on NBA League Pass unless you are in the city of New York or in and around the city of Orlando, Florida. Orlando's a beatable team. They're not that great. They got crushed tonight by the Cavaliers, and look, I mean, the Nets just beat Orlando a couple days ago. So Orlando, most teams are better at home, but Brooklyn will have confidence that they can win the game because obviously they just recently won against the Magic. So, let's do it. Let's try to go for the fourth straight win and go 4-0 in April. And if they win that game, they are assured of a winning April because there are only 3 more games following that game. So that'd be a nice goal to just try to go and get that victory, and let's go from there. That's about it. That's about all I have to say tonight. I mean, there's nothing. Everything's good. As I said, Jeremy has shot the ball well now in 2 consecutive games. His 3-point percentage is going up. His field goal percentage overall is going up. He looks really good. He looks really controlled. I will say this. Going through the data for Jeremy, I did just a fair amount of data analysis on Jeremy in the last couple of days. His playing style is changing a lot. He's playing much differently than how he played during Linsanity. Linsanity was not a lot of 3-pointers attempted and more free throws attempted, whereas now it's a good number of 3-pointers attempted and not as many free throws attempted. So it's a change. More of a perimeter-oriented game now that Jeremy's playing rather than a driving game. That takes time to adjust to, but I think it's a good move for Jeremy in that it will wear him down less. He won't take as many hits. Maybe he'll have fewer injuries, and it's a better way to play over the long haul. I think obviously he's just playing more like that because he's changed systems, but I think it's a good strategy, and as Jeremy adapts to playing that style, he'll get better and better at it. He'll continue to improve his 3-point shooting. He'll continue to improve his perimeter skills. So he's not at his peak form yet, I don't think, because he's used to playing that other style, more driving, more free throws, or whatever. And as he becomes more accustomed to playing this new perimeter style, then he'll get better and better at that as well. Okay, that is it for tonight. I hope you're having a great night or great day wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. Take care. We will talk to you again in about 48 hours from now, after the Brooklyn Nets travel to face the Orlando Magic in Orlando, Florida. Take care until then. We'll see you